Even before he became president, it was clear that Trump's environmental policies were going to fly in the face of much of the progress made over the previous decade. Only a few months into office, and his approach threatens not only global security, but also that of the United States itself, where the effects of climate change are already keenly felt. President Trump has started the process of rolling back the Clean Water Rule, which conserves the nation's waterways. He's threatening the existence of the Environmental Protection Agency, the national organization set up to protect the environment and communities, and he's revived government support for fossil fuels.
My administration is putting an end to the war on coal.
But Trump's environmental legacy might have a surprising twist.
I'm in the USA to see how communities are coming together to bypass the White House, forming a global network of grassroots resistance.
I've come to the People's Climate March here in Washington, D.C. It's one of 300 marches across the country calling for a change in environmental policy.
We chose this date for being able to reach out around climate because it's Trump's 100th day, right? And in terms of all of the dismantling of the work that we've done, we're here to say no.
We're dealing with climate change right now. It's not a situation where, you know, it'll be coming to us in the future. It is happening right now in my community. And so I came all the way here to D.C. to say that enough is enough.
With 81% of the United States' energy still coming from oil, coal, and natural gas, many are here to oppose the Trump administration's support for the fossil fuel industry. I come across Wes Gillingham from New York State, an outspoken activist for renewable energy.
The oil and gas industry has a serious onslaught to lock us into the infrastructure that's going to keep us addicted to fossil fuels for the next 50 years. The people that are here walking today, they have the exact opposite message. We want new forms of energy, alternative energy, renewable energy.
If the environment were a bank, it would have been saved by now. Wow, you could just stand here for ages looking at these wonderful kind of slogans. This chap up the front is Michael. He's from an organization called South Bronx Unite. They're facing some significant challenges with air pollution in their community. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks.
I've come here to represent my coalition as how we can work together nationally to combat climate change and global warming.
What is the power of this kind of protest that we're seeing here?
No real true change has ever happened without this type of engagement. From the civil rights movement to the right for women to vote, to gay rights, to you name it. All change we see that's happened to our community, to our society, that's been momentous, has come through this type of engagement.
5 hours later, the official count comes in, and it surpasses everyone's expectations. Over 200,000 people showed up, double the expected turnout. But as the march winds down, there's still one person I want to meet.
Mustafa, how are you? I'm good, bro.
Mustafa Ali quit his job as senior advisor of the Environmental Protection Agency's Environmental Justice Team 2 months after President Trump came into power. I want to know why he's here today.
As an individual, sometimes it can be overwhelming and you feel disconnected. We're connecting folks. So it is a global movement. There is a global connection that is happening. And we're going to utilize that power to make change, not only for today, but for future generations as well.
Can you give us a sense of how you and the rest of the people here are hoping to put pressure on the administration?
So this is not just a moment, this is a movement. And that means that once folks are done marching, we're breaking down silos. People are coming together in authentic ways and creating collaboration. Folks are going to go back to their respective communities. They're going to take the information that they got here, but they are also going to get engaged. And that means that they're going to get engaged on the local level and the state level.
Talking to the marchers here, there's a real sense that people power can create change. But how can a local groundswell stand up to federal policies? Wes Gillingham, who I met on the march, has invited me back to his farm in the Catskill Mountains, North New York State, to show me how to do just that. Former teacher, Wes lives on a small holding farm using 100% renewable energy.
So this is electric charge. It goes to the ground, and then This is...
it's a portable solar generator.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, one person can move it from one place to the other as we move the fence around.
But Wes isn't your average farmer. He led the charge on one of the most powerful environmental citizen campaigns in New York State history. In 2009, he built a local coalition that sidestepped federal policy by claiming that fracking could pollute the state's waterways. Using local state legal obligation to guarantee clean water to its citizens, Wes and his colleagues managed to ban fracking across the entire state. Today, he has his sights set on a new bill to transition New York State into 100% renewable energy by 2050.
It's a huge lift to do this, but we need to mandate it and come up with how to do it. And labor's involved too, because right now there's more jobs in the renewable sector than there is in the fossil fuel sector. And New York State has the political inertia to do that now, partly coming out of the fracking fight. We have a highly educated population in the state because of that fracking fight. So that's why we're going to Albany.
If successful, Wes's bill would nudge New York State towards a greener future, creating thousands of jobs in the process. To push it forward, Wes is heading to the state capitol building in Albany, where every Tuesday groups are invited to lobby local government.
There's a whole presentation on gun violence, whatever legislation they're pushing, and people come from all over the state to follow it, and then some of these folks are probably going off and having meetings with their elected officials from their community.
This is genuine kind of bottom-up politics that's happening right in front of us.
This is it. This is how it works in this country. There's a lot of interesting ironies that happen on Tuesdays in Albany. I might be here pushing for something to stop a pipeline, and then I get on an elevator with someone from the Oil and Gas Association of America who's got a paid lobbyist there, trying to do the exact opposite, put pipelines all over the place.
I follow Wes as he meets with his local legislator to put forward the plan for 100% renewable energy in New York State, but we weren't allowed to film the meeting. 2 hours later, Wes emerges with wingman Eddie Batista.
It's a climate emergency. The governor needs to show some urgency. And so we don't know yet if he's going to step up and take the kind of bold leadership that we need in an age of Trump. But we have about 4.5 weeks to make it happen, and I like our chances. What do you...
Yeah, well, and you asked what's going to happen next. I mean, we've got another meeting with folks in the Senate, but the other thing that's going to happen is Eddie's going to go back down to Brooklyn. I'm going to go to the Catskills, and we're going to get everybody in those places on board with this and push for it. Then they can't ignore it. And the folks, the organizations that function out of Albany, they're going to be doing the same thing here in Albany with all those elected. They told us 10 years ago there's no way that you could stop fracking. It's going to happen. And after a 7-year fight, the governor announced that there's a ban on fracking. We stopped it, so it doesn't really matter what President Trump says about the EPA or what. We're going to make that transition despite him, and that would be awesome.
We don't know if they're going to succeed in this, but what we do know is that after being in DC and seeing all these community groups that are working together, is that climate change is not one problem with one silver bullet solution. It's made up of many little problems that interact and intersect in every aspect of our lives. And what that means is that we all have an opportunity to get involved. And it's actually the getting involved and being together, that's the people power. That's the solution. A month after filming, continued efforts by Wes and other campaigners were validated when the governor of New York State, Andrew Cuomo, signed an executive order pushing all agencies to develop plans for 80% renewable energy by 2050.
We need to start acting on this